Recently I was filming something for Instagram and I decided to take all of my unfinished paintings and put them together in one area. And I thought it would be kind of fun to see what I'm all working on at this time. And there are a lot, and I knew there were a lot, but you know, when you see them all in one place, it's a lot. And some of these I've started many years ago, some I started recently, some are unfinished, some were finished, but I just didn't have the skills at the time to make them look the way I wanted to look. So I thought it could be fun to do a tour and show you all my unfinished paintings I have that I'm either going to paint over or continue, or maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but bring on the failed / unfinished paintings. Is basil impossible to grow, or am I just that bad at growing basil? If you're wondering, why do I always see artists turn their paintings around in a studio? It's not just because we don't want anyone to see what we're working on. Maybe that's the case for some people, but for me, it's because if I look at a painting too long, I will get used to it. So if you turn it around, then when you look at it again a few weeks later, it's easier to see what you need to change on it because your brain hasn't normalized it yet. Oh yeah, this one's pretty recent. I'll be working on that one soon. I know I always say that. Oh, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put these. This will be temporary for now. You can go under the fruit concoction. This is fun for me because I haven't looked at a lot of these in a long time. This is Fairy Lake, and the mountains, and that is done. I was trying to go top to bottom like an artist I really admire who does that. I don't know how he does it. It's not really how I work, but I wish I could, so I tried it and wasn't too successful yet, but we can dream. Here's a little one. Oh yeah, that was a fish that I had started. I will finish that at some point. I struggle a lot with water. I was combining two photos. One was of the fish, one was of a reflection, so we'll see, but yes, that one shall be finished. Oh yeah, this one was finished. This one I'm gonna paint over. It's a nice beach scene, but it's really linear, it's really flat. I love the energy of the trees, but there's just nothing pulling me into it. So I'll be painting over that, probably with another landscape. This is something I had just started. When I have extra paint, I'll just put it on a canvas so it doesn't go to waste. So this is just gonna be a first layer for something else. This one, Bumblebee. I did this one when I was in college. I love it. I always hated this half of the canvas and just wanted to cut it off. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. It was a fun memory. I might actually end up cutting this off so I can just display that or try to fix it. We'll see. I never really knew how to resolve that. This was a really fun one I started. It's about a third of the way finished. I want to have a bunch of layers. I moved to oil too quickly, so I like to start in acrylic and then do oil on top. But once you do oil on top, you can't go back to acrylic, so I started oil too soon, which slows me down, which is why this one took so long to keep working on. I really love these details in here though. I'm hoping to abstract it quite a bit. This is a big one. It's just loose canvas that I have tacked to a background so I can work on it, and then it'll just be displayed loose canvas on a wall. But this is what I'm making for my Seaster. My favorite part is a little skeleton riding the horse here. This is just the very first layer. There's gonna be a lot going on here, but this one is tons of fun. She's an author, and it's really fun having a sister who's creative because we can talk and complain and be excited about the same kinds of things, because creative process tends to have similarities across media. This was a little oceanscape I started, and you know, sometimes I'll start off and it just won't grip me, or I'll lose the reference photo, which is what happened with this one, so probably will never finish it, but if I found the reference photo, then I would. This is some abstracted trees, which again, moved to oil too quickly and kind of lost. This one actually is finished, so I'm gonna put it over here with the outgoing paintings. Hi Ziggy. Landscape I started, wasn't feeling it. Sometimes it's just easier to start over than to push through when it's not working. This is a fish I started and I didn't like the way the scales resolved. This part's okay, but I might go in and try to abstract it. This is that god-awful fox that I struggled with. This I'll just start over. This is a carousel horse I started in school very long time ago. I have a thing for carousel horses, and it's something that is sort of like a personal project. I just keep painting them, and this one I was kind of trying to decide what direction to go. I just never got back to that. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do a realistic mane or make it more of that plastic kind of a thing, but that's an ongoing personal project of mine. And here we have a classic bison. I just didn't like the way it fit. It's just too crammed into this space. I want to make it smaller, so the composition was a flop. I'll have to start that over. This one, I can't figure out what I want to do with the background. I love texture, but it got so textured, it was getting almost kind of difficult to add more layers and get that coverage. But this was a canvas that I made, so I really had a lot of fun with that because it's just very kind of handcrafted and rugged. This was one of the first paintings I ever did. I loved it, and at the time, these colors were in. And it's funny because they're just about back now. I see purple everywhere. I always wanted to tone down the background, never got around to it. At this point, I'd probably just paint over it, but it was a pretty fun one. I got really into still lifes when I was in school because that's kind of the setup that I had, and I had good light, so I was painting vases and flowers and things. Fruit Loops. If any painting could reflect my style and my struggle, it would be this one because I love color and I struggle so much with saturation and making them work together and mixing colors. This was, I put some fake plants in a bowl of Fruit Loops and just painted what I saw. It smelled delicious. It was really fun, but as you can see, the whole thing is just a mess. This is one of my favorite paintings I've ever done. This was done at my studio in school, and it was the first time I got to paint glass and water, which I really love. I'm not really sure what I'll do with this one. I'm definitely always going to keep it just because I love it and it has a lot of great memories, but I might keep filling with the background. Some paintings sort of live forever and you just keep revising them, but it's one I've loved for a long time. I had a professor tell me one of the flowers needed to be black. She said just anything for variety, so one of these days I might do that just to honor her, just paint one of them black. This one I did an online workshop that was abstract. This is another experiment in color and texture. I was thinking about patterns of fish, really just trying to push myself with trying new things. You can see I've scratched into it, layers. There's a couple paintings underneath this one and I'll paint over it. This is another one where if I have extra paint, I'll just put it on the canvas so I don't waste it. This one went through a few iterations. These were yellow and I made them pink. Again, just playing around. Didn't really like the way this one was cropped. Love this bowl, love this glass. In fact, I bought a whole bunch of these, or I guess I don't know if they're tea towels or what, and I would use these in my paintings. You can see this is the one I used in that floral. These crisscrosses are really significant in my work. They represent a lot of things for me. Family, fabric, thread, tying things together, the stars, all of that. So those show up, you'll see probably almost everywhere in my work. Oh, here's some. See those little crosses at the upper left, the plus signs? They show up in my work all of the time. Those are very symbolic to me. I've been looking for this one. This one I started a while ago. I finished the smaller version of this earlier, so this is actually really close. Next in line to be finished. I toned down the other one a lot, but this one I'm gonna try to keep probably pretty vibrant just because I love that. Here's another one from the Carousel series that was briefly started and just haven't gotten back to it. Like I said, this is a very kind of personal project, not personal as in secretive and I don't really want to share it, but just more, it's just for me. So I don't really make these or work on these unless I have a show coming up that's just kind of about me. This was one that it started as a landscape with layers and everything. It was really soft and beautiful and I loved it. And then I just pushed it really, really far and ruined it. Not to say that you can't ruin a painting, but I did have a professor tell me he would rather me push a piece to the point of ruining it than be too afraid to work on it or have it be boring or seem unfinished just because I was afraid to work on it. So this is a really good example of that. I liked what I had. I made some bad choices and pushed it too far, but I did learn a lot through this experimentation, and I think it is really important to not be too worried about losing the things that you like, because remember that the creative stuff, it came from inside you and you can do it again. It's just not once and that's your only chance. You have more in you and you can keep going. I mean, if this isn't a testament to that, I don't know what is. I have a lot of paintings that I love that worked out, and then I have a lot that didn't, and that's a really, really important part of the process. We're on to the little ones now. Something's wrong with this tail, which I gotta fix. This one was a study, never finished. Oh yeah, there was gonna be an autumn scene, and boy did it get out of hand. A fish here that just never came together, the colors weren't right. I have a couple fish that I started and just haven't continued work on. There's a still life that didn't pan out. There's another fish down here. There was a landscape that fell through that I was then going to do a magpie that I abandoned. We have some tulips, which was a fun study from life, but that's not. Oh yeah, and then this was a commission that I did and it just ended up too cartoony, so then I repainted it to look less like, I don't know, an emoji. But like I said, sometimes it's just easier to completely start over than to try to fix something, but that's okay. Don't be afraid to start over and put more time in. Don't get too sad about the failed ones. You're gonna have many, many more that will work out. And as time goes on, the ones that don't work out will become less. The ones that do work out will become more. I'm just about to get back to finishing this one up from a long time ago. That was really fun for me. I hope it was fun for you to see things that I have worked on in the past. I hope you have a really great week and that you never stop painting. See ya.